So we had a lot of people that had a good day today. Seeing that in the room, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and get everything started. My name is Daryl Martin with ApexInvesting.com. About thriving in 2021 in your trading, being the sniper and not the target. And if you want to check us out for free at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp and get 30 days free with no credit card and get full access to our trading room, our trading tools, and our training. Again, no credit card, 30 days free. apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. And today we're going to go over Simplicity and Sniper. Do a review of both. How does that sound? Yeah? Y'all ready for it? Alright, so first thing, got to throw up disclosures, all that boring stuff, but necessary. Know what you're doing before you do it. Trading involves risk, okay? A reminder, we still have for the rest of, for another, week or so here, we have 25% off of Lilu at apexinvesting.com/funding. If you don't have the money to fund a futures account or you don't want to risk your savings, funding is a great way to do it. So use code APEX25 and get 25% off any of their monthly plans. Don't do the what do they call that one that takes off or whatever? It's like the 10 days make $6,000. The Express. Yeah, thank you, Robbie. Yeah, don't do the Express. It's a waste of money. You're gonna have to overtrade, and it's not gonna help you survive a PA. So it's a waste of your money. Stick to the other plans. Okay, other plans are great. Stick to those. And we had one of our traders today got their 6th account funded. So 6 funding accounts. So that's awesome. And knocked it out of the park yesterday and today. So had some really good profits. There was a trader confused in a room today thinking that this was 6 trades. This is not 6 trades. This is 6 accounts. So that's he thought that I was doing 6 trades all making the same amount of money. He was very confused. This includes my wins and my losses, both. Does that make sense? So I take losses just like everybody else. So it includes my wins and my losses. And I use the trade copier to simultaneously trade multiple accounts at once. So check out the trade copier if you haven't checked that out already. It's super helpful. And speaking of it, let's get into today. Let's pull up a Simplicity chart. So we got the market opening up here, 9:30, going into 9:35. So waiting on a signal. All right, nothing there. What I'm waiting on is these 2 lines over here. You know, let me get my little pointer. Hold on one second. Where's that thing at? For those that are new, these 2 lines have to be green. One of them is a volatile moving average, not a moving average. Notice it moves back and forth, unlike moving averages that just move in one direction. And the other one involves implied volatility, which is the expected movement priced into options, and it looks to see when they're lined up. So because options markets usually know things before price action. And there's a whole reason behind that. I go into that in other videos, but bottom line is it uses live options implied volatility along with price action. And we're looking for both of these lines to either be angling up in green or both to be angling down and red. And then the high of that bar to be broken if they're both green, or a down of that bar to be broken if they're both red. So we're sitting here at settlement. And it looks like we got both angling up. So if the next bar breaks the high, yeah, that red down could have easily got you. So if it breaks the high of this bar right here, then that would be an entry. Does that make sense? Because both are angling up. And I look to enter by a 2 tick offset. So if I pull up my chart trader, I got it on sim right now. I would actually hit buy high if you use the chart trader. So it's like I don't know, it's like $100. Or you get it to buy market when it breaks it. I like using the chart trader, and then you cancel the order if it doesn't break it. Okay? So let's see what happens. It breaks it. And it's moving on up. Where do we think it could move up to? What it looks like a strong level for it to move up to. The dynamic magnet, that orange level up there. So it's moving. We hit the dynamic magnet. Would that be a good place to take profit or at least tighten your stop to the dashed line? Yeah. So you don't have to wait. Now, the rules are once you enter, your stop is if it closes below the solid line of the setup bar. And you can't move your stop until the solid line gets above break even. So at this point here, we're moving it. But we don't have to give all that back. We could say either get out here if we want to see if it keeps going, or if it hits the dotted line, just get out versus waiting on it to close below. And we literally had traders that took that trade and they were done for the day. Like that was their day. That one trade. And it may, let's see, 34.50 up to, or what, not 34. Basically 134.50 up to 150. So like 15 points or 60 ticks just about. So, and a lot of traders, I know what happened was they made their 30 ticks and they just took profit. Is that a bad thing to do? If our goal is 30 ticks a day to get to 20 grand a month over time as our contracts grow? So they literally took 30 ticks, they called it a day, and they were done within, less than 15 minutes after the market opened. Not a bad day. A lot of us have a hard time stopping after that, don't we? And then we give it back. So, but anyways, that was a nice profitable trade right there. Let's see what happens next. Comes back down. Oh, right here. What do we got? Let me cover this. Okay, this is called a LRE, or a low risk entry, because instead of having your entry here and your stop way down here, you enter right when it's within 2 points of the previous solid line. And you have a stop of 5 points and a take profit of 10 points during market hours, between 9:30 and 5, basically. Outside of that, you have a take profit of 5 points. So stop of 5 points, take profit at 10 points in market hours, stop of 5 points, take profit of 5 points outside of market hours. And so when it gets within 2 points, you just hit buy market. And you set your stop to be 5 points below the solid line. Okay? That makes sense to everybody how to execute that? Let's see. Yep. Okay, got a couple questions. The light blue line and purple line, how did you get those on your charts? I get them from the OP Trade Copier. It comes as part of Thrive. So if you take Thrive, we teach you how to read the 30 tick and the 50 tick chart. And this takes the OP levels from the 30 tick chart and puts them on your 10 tick and your Simplicity and your 50 tick chart. And it's automatically included for life when you get the Thrive education, which really does help you go to another level. If you want to get other people's opinion, just hop in the room and ask them if Thrive is worth it. You'll get a lot of resounding yeses. Can you use Trade Copier on Lilu if we get funded and then a personal account to trade the same trade on both? Yes, you can. You can use it. Now, to trade a personal account, you'll need your personal key in Ninja, like where you lease or own one. And that'll let you trade a personal account and Lilu without having to have a multi-broker. So you can't use the Lilu key to trade a personal account, but you can use your own key to trade a personal account and Lilu. All that happened in a matter of 2 minutes. How did you see the trade that fast? Well, I mean, 30 seconds is a long time. So when it's not fast. 30, count to 30. This bar is 30 seconds. This bar took 30 seconds. If you didn't see it on this bar, you should have saw it by this bar. So you see it coming back down towards that line. So you would have hopped in right there. Your stop would be 5 points below this line. So right about here. Right about 36, 37. And your take profit would be 10 points up. Now you could just decide to take profit at the dynamic magnet, which is like 8 points, or you could go for the full 10. On the early entry, your stop would have been 5 points below, or actually would have been 5 points below this solid line, or when it closes below this solid line, is where your stop would have been. So whichever comes first. And then you trail it up once the solid line gets above your entry price to 5 points behind it, or when it closes below it, whichever comes first, or when you take profit like at the dynamic magnet. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, so we hop in that trade, and let's see what happens here. Boom, pops up. We get our 10 points on that LRE, which is one that I called this room in the room this morning. And it starts oscillating around. And now what do we have? We have two red lines angling down. If the low is broken, then we have what? A short, exactly. Early entry short. So it breaks the low on this next bar. Our stop on an early entry means like it's the first two lines. Like right here, it's been green for red, green, red. Early entry means it just switched. Like one of the two just switched. Sometimes both of them switch at the same time. Okay? And that would put our stop 5 points above, first 5 points above the high of the bar. And then, if it closes above this line, or 5 points, whichever comes first, you would get out. Now, what would be a good target on this short? What would your profit be on the last trade? It would have been 10 points, so 40 ticks. So yeah, so settlement is a pretty clear take profit. Now what do we have right there? If you didn't get the entry, what do you have? You have a potential LRE, right? Because it came up within 2 points of the solid line. You hit the short, or sell market button. Your stop is 5 points above that solid line. It pops up, you get out. You lose on that trade. Is that okay? We've made 10 points before that, and we made 15 points before that. Okay? Now it comes back down. Pops up. Doesn't break the high with the double angle up. Starts sinking back down. Now we have another early entry. Now a lot of y'all would be shy to take this trade because you just took a loss. But if you do, you miss out on the trades. Who here gets shy to take the next trade when they take a loss? A lot of people. Okay. And then who finds that often that trade they didn't take makes money? Every time. Okay. So knowing that, learn to take... Are you afraid to take a trade after a win? No. But that one could lose. So don't be afraid to take one after a loss. If anything, be more obliged to take it. All right, so we get a short. Where is our target again? Same one we had last time. Settlement again. That goes down, down. Hasn't quite closed above the line. Drops, and we hit settlement. So let's say we take our profit there. On this one, we got in at basically 146. We got out at 125. So pretty much made little over 20 points on that trade. So is that worth losing 5 points to go over here on this next trade and make 20 points? So, and, yeah, as was just highlighted, what is this right here? An LRE. So we go short. We got a 5-point stop, not from where we enter. We got a 5-point stop from the solid line. Goes up, you get a little nervous, or maybe you just got in. It drops down, and you get your 10 points on the LRE. If I'm in a simplicity trade, do I ever add on if there's an LRE? Oh yeah, often. Usually though, I do it when there's profit already. So that way if I get knocked out, I'm, knocked out with some profit. I just get back, some of that money. I usually don't add on with the simplicity just oscillating around. Does that make sense? All right, so moving forward. All right, we got a potential simplicity long. What are we close to right now? Settlement. Who's noticed that the market likes to hit settlement, come up, come back down to settlement, come back up, come back down to settlement? Okay, in the room, I called this. I said I wouldn't take this simplicity right now because it's probably going to pull back down to settlement. So I said, don't take it. One person took it, and they regretted it. Yeah, someone took it. And I'm like, why? Well, it would have got in, even though you shouldn't have got in, and then it would have lost. That's oscillating around. Now we get another short. Okay, and this short has actually made a new low from the break that we had below settlement so far. All right, we've actually, remember, like if you look left, we've broken all the lows there. Poor Vladimir, he's like, I regretted it very much. So, we've all been there, buddy. So we got 2 bars angling down, both are red, which gives us a short if it breaks the low, correct? So let's go ahead and follow it. Just bouncing around a little bit. Making us nervous because settlement's there. But we got, the nice thing is our stop. Because we got it right here, our stop is basically if it closes above settlement. All right, we also had an LRE right there. Got within 2 points of the solid line. So if you didn't get the simplicity, you got the LRE. The dynamic magnet could be looked at as an obstruction. I liked it because we were breaking the lows. And the dynamic magnet is what made it oscillate. So that's why I didn't freak out when it was oscillating, because I expected a little bit of chop right there. But I also liked that we had settlement as really our stop if it had to close above it. So I was willing to take the risk, especially based on the profit made so far. You can see it's getting a little choppy. It's up there. We haven't quite broke it yet by closing above settlement. Notice how I said closing above. And finally it breaks down. That one would have made you nervous as all get out. Many of you would have gotten out and I wouldn't have totally blamed you for doing so. And if you, let's just say you did, right? Because I mean, could y'all see some of yourselves, you get in here, it starts doing all of this, and you're like, I'm out of this trade. Yeah. Yeah, it totally would not, like, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But we get another simplicity short. It reset. It turned green. Both lines turn green, and then both lines turn red. So now we got another simplicity short. So even if you got out, it gave you another chance. And where did it go down to? Where's your first potential take profit on this? Yeah, that dev. So you could either take profit or you could tighten to the dotted line. Okay, and I think it's important for you to remember that, because it's one of those, am I willing to give some back in order to make more, or do I just want to take it? And a lot of you just take it and say, hey, I got my 30 ticks, I'm done. And it went down to double fluxes. And then it broke it further down. And then finally it got out right there. So when it closed above the solid line. All right. Was that a good simplicity review? Does some of y'all understand it a little better now? Awesome. So it's one of my favorite things. Is simplicity. It's literally the first indicator I wrote. But it took me a long time to come up with the system for it. I used to use it just to like keep me out of trades on certain time-based bars, but now I use it on the 30-second bars because I was working with John and the idea popped in my head to test it, and we tested it and tested it and tested it, and it did absolutely amazing. All right, so now let's check out Sniper. So we're right here at 935. We got a green FTX. Do we take it? DR is low, no trade. We got an SLZ. Do we take it? There is no major level. And if you wonder how I know that we have those trades, I'm looking at the bottom, and in the trainings I teach you what these mean. Like that means FTX, this means a TX with an SLZ. So, and we don't have any major levels, so therefore we don't take an SLZ. And technically, and this is really important, I think it's important I highlight this. I like to wait till 9:36, the end of 9:35, before I take my first trade, because I found that first trade can get you. And that 9:35 to 9:36 time. I don't know why, but that first minute just likes to bite you in the butt. So, has anybody ever experienced that before? So I basically have made the dark zone, for me, 9:25 to 9:36. Yeah, usually it's moving too fast anyway to even grab it. And if you would have, let's look at this. Somebody pointed this out. That would have been an HD trade, and that would have got you by like a tick. It would have missed its take profit. So I let 9:35 run out. Okay? So let's get to 9:36, which is how I trade and how I've taught on multiple webinars. All right, now we're at 9:36, okay? So now the trade's got to count. That one was right at 936. Whoops. Jump past it. Is it a valid trade? Yeah, almost an ODD, but not quite. I mean, 85% is literally the maximum. The lower, the better. So no trade. ODD, by the way, HD is when this number is greater than that number by 125% and you get a TX. Right there on the bottom for going up, or on the top for going short. And then ODD is when it makes a lower low. The bottom number is for going long. And that number is 85% or less of the previous number. Oh, you know what? I may have scrolled too far. I think I'm on the wrong day. Whoops. Here we go. Good catch. Thank you. 9:33. There we go. I would like to do the current day, so that way there's no cherry picking. Now I'm on 9:10. And not that it matters, it all comes back to the same thing, but I always like to do current day of the webinar. All right. Yeah, you want me to go ahead and review tomorrow's trades, Mark? Tell you which ones to take and which ones not to right now? I would love to be able to do that for you. Take the winning ones, not the losing ones. Okay, that's my advice. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we're playing down at settlement. This is how what we saw early in the morning on Simplicity there. We're at 936.58. We get a long trade. Can we take it? I want you to look at it closely if you said no. It's not an ETX because it's not within 2 ticks of another ODD level. Settlement isn't ODD, but it is an OP. It is an ODD. So it's 77% of the previous OD number. And it made a lower low than the previous number, which is the 2 requirements, with a TX on it. And it had a mini magnet, which makes it even better. So right there out of the gate, winning trade. All right, now we got a TX short. Can we take it? No, it does not meet any of our rules. And I know it's when you're new, it feels a little overwhelming to learn all the rules, doesn't it? But if you take your time, if you study, if you'll take notes while you're watching the videos, ask questions, like you'll get it down. And especially if you do these reviews with the cheat sheet that we have on there, it'll help you a lot. And you can even watch these chart reviews. I have dozens of them up. Now we got an SLZ coming off settlement. Can we take it? What do you think? It's going right into a block of mini magnets. It's coming right off settlement. So it would make me very nervous to take this trade. You do have room before the mini magnets, but it's literally coming right off settlement. Like it went below it, didn't make a new low. Like I like the first one, it was ranging. This one, it's like, yeah, this might be where it decides to break down. We got fortunate on that ODD. It came down, pop back up into the range. Now it broke and made a new low, and it's popping back up to settlement. So I don't like it. I feel like, hey, we just got one. I don't know if I want to push it on two off of settlement. Sort of like how, you know how Lori always says, don't take the second bounce? Have y'all heard her say that before? Well, that would be what would apply here. Don't take the second bounce. Okay? And we're glad we didn't. Now we got a TX long. Can we take it? No, an invalid trade. No, doesn't meet any of our rules. Now we got a double TX. Can we take it? It's also ODD, but we got 2 to 3 bar chop going right into settlement. So what do y'all think? Do we take an ODD double TX going into settlement and 2 to 3 bar chop? I would say no. It works out. It's all right. I'd rather wish I have something I don't as have something I wish I didn't. And I want to be consistent in my rules, which is don't trade 2 to 3 bar chop. I think Lori even called out this morning somebody who took it, and she's like, you should not have taken that trade. That had 2 to 3 bar chop. I don't care if it was ODD. The rule for double TX is there's no 2 to 3 bar chop. Therefore, don't take ODD trades that are in 2 to 3 bar chop. I'm always looking at the 10-tick chart. Sometimes I look at that to help me determine levels if it's really getting choppy on where to take profit or if I think it's going to bounce. So I do watch it. I talk about that a lot in Thrive, about how I look at the 10, 50, and 30 when I'm trading it. Now we got a TX short. Do we take it? Nope, no rules. Now we got a 3rd bar swing. Can we take it after that chop there? No. Anna's going right into settlement. And we're glad we didn't. Now we got a short. Can we take it? Nope, no setup. Yeah, we're in a longicity over here. Now we got a 3rd bar swing. Are we on a new... Are we going short from a new high? No. So we can't take a long that late in the trend on a 3rd bar swing. Same thing with an elevator. Now we got a short. Can we take it? Yes, we have ODD. So this number is less than 85% of this number, and we made a higher high. Therefore, we can take a short. Winning trade. Yeah, you also had divergence on DR where you had a big hill, little hill. Sort of like part of what we teach as the JFT trade. So you had both going for you. All right, so that's 2 winners so far. We missed out on 1 win, and we missed out on 2 losses by following our trade so far and just having 2 wins. Not too shabby. Now we got another TX short. Nope, no reason. Doesn't follow any of our rules. Now we got another TX short. Nope, no reason. That's where we took that LRE, by the way. Now we got a TX long. Can we take it? It is an ETX. What do you have to the left of you? I always say look left to trade right. What do you have left of you? You got double mini magnets. You got some crocodile eyes. Do you want to trade up into those double mini magnets that were just there? What are we probably going to have right here? What would we almost expect? Yeah, coil chop or chop. So the ETX we're talking about is not 946, it's 955. 946 was not an ETX. It was not within 2 ticks of an OP level. So let's see what happens. Do we get the expected... Ah, we got the expected chop. Yeah, and you have a ZOI there. And it's basically going into several mini magnets, and you got a 30-tick mini magnet there. Alright, so... comes down. It hasn't technically got knocked out yet. If you did get in that trade as an ETX, what should you do right now? Or what should you have done as soon as this bar closed down? Move to break even. As soon as that bar closed down, move to break even. It comes down, hasn't quite hit the stop, comes back up, you're out of the trade. So if you did take that ETX because you weren't looking left to trade right, and you had yourself a heart attack, go ahead and let that heartbeat go down a little bit and get out at break even. Okay? Of course it keeps going up, but that's okay. Yeah, exactly. Move your take profit to break even, because the one that's above it, you'd have to move down. So it would have won, but we got to follow our rules and be consistent. So we're 2, 1, and 0. 2 wins, 1 break even, and no losses. All right, do we have a trade right here? Nope, no reason. It is not HD because it's the first pullback. So you have a new high, and this is your first pullback. You got to have a second pullback for it to be HD. Got a TX long. Do we have a trade? It's an ETX long. Yeah, we got a dynamic magnet right in the way. And you got double clusters within 3 bars. So would that be no trade because it's going into a major level and we got those 2 clusters within 3 bars? Yeah, and it's been trying to hit that level over and over and over again. And you're glad you took that LRE and just took profit. You'd really be pushing it. So I'd say no trade. It worked out, but it wasn't worth it. All right, now we got a double TX. Can we take it? No, we're in 2 to 3 bar chop. Get a shot collar if you take that trade. Okay. Me and Louie were looking at all these mini magnets up there. We're like, is it going to go up there? And it never quite made it up. We were looking for it too. Fuck him. Yeah, I missed one. Okay, we got a TX short there. Do we take that? No, that's coil chop. So no trade. All right, we got another TX short. Can we take it? Same thing, coil chop, no trade. Now we got a TX long. Nope, no trade. Doesn't meet any of the rules. Then we got a TX short. Coil chop, no trade. Coil chop, it's down, down, or up, down, up. 3 bars in a row. So again, down, up, 3 bars in a row is coil chop. The only trade you take those in, and you can do ETXs even though I don't like to, is elevators. And that's only when they're within 7 bars of a new high or low. So. Now we got a TX short. Can we take it? Nope, not HD yet. It's our first pullback. So unfortunately, we cannot take it. Yeah, it could definitely trick you into being an HD trade with that pullback there, seeing that big number. It worked out if you took it, but you shouldn't have. All right. You did have a double TX on it, that is true. So I'm going back because somebody brought that up. So yeah, it was an LRE as well. So the double TX, because you do have red DR, does actually allow you to take it. So I missed that. Good job on, who is that, Jeff? No, double TX doesn't require high DR. Only FTXs do. No, but it's red, therefore it defines it as a double TX. Doesn't, it's looking at that bar. FTX is looking at the previous 2 bars. Jeff's like, I see it as a double TX, but I still would have taken it. So it's a double TX if you took it. Yes, it's valid, and that is a valid trade. You have chop, but you don't have 2 to 3 bar chop. You have room to take your profit before the bottom of that range. Like, quite a bit of room. I do like it because it was coming off of a chicken burger level. If you don't know what burger levels are, you can learn that in one of our other courses. Okay, so Apollo ZOI is not a level to not be able to take into. So that is a valid trade. I would not have caught that if Jeff didn't bring up the double TX. Madu got it. Yeah, Lori probably doesn't like it. She'd be like, it's a lane 2. So. Let's see here. Don't tell her I said that. She'll kick me out of the room or something. Let's see. Yeah, that's our 3-0, so that means you should be done for the day. But let's keep going just because that double TX was a little tricky. Or if you're playing Simplicity and LREs, you're definitely done for the day. Got an SLZ. No level. No trade. Got a TX long. FTX. Got 2 to 3 bar chop. DR's not high enough. Yep. So not valid. It's amazing how those rules save us over and over again. So when we get antsy and take them and don't pay attention that they get us. So we just want to trade so bad, we just force it hoping it will work. But nobody in here has ever done that before, right? Let's see, we got a short here. Did we take it? Not since this morning. No rules met. No trade. Got a TX long. That is not an HD trade back there because the number's lower. You have to have two lower highs where it's greater than 125%. It was a higher high. So it'd have to be a lower high. Basically, what we're looking for on an HD is for it to not go as high on more volume. So that's why that was an HD. Does that make sense? If we would have had a pullback here, like just pretend we had a pullback right here, okay, with an OD number, and that number was 152% greater, and that made a lower high with more volume. Okay, this one made a higher high with more volume. Well, we expect it to make a higher high with more volume. We don't expect it to make a lower high with more volume. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, go back and check the HD chart. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 15, 23%, Sakina. There, I don't see a 23%. I see a 27%, but there's no TX on it, and it's not a lower low. So if that's what you're talking about, it had to be a lower low with a TX on it to be ODD. 10-10. Again, we have to, that one was a lower low, so that would be ODD, but we don't have a TX on it. So therefore, it's not a trade. Okay? Got to have that TX for it to be an ODD or an HDD trade. All right, so moving forward. Was it intuition to say no longicity? Well, no, I was reading the market and I saw it pulling up right here. And I'm like, it's probably going to pull back down to settlement again. And so I said, don't do it because it just usually pulls back to settlement. Okay, we got a TX short. Can we take it? DR is not a reason for this one because of a certain thing. You're entering on the other side of the dynamic magnet and you'll take profit before the second dynamic magnet. It is not HD. That is correct. Because it is not the second pullback. Right? Because this is our most recent high since ODD. So it's the first pullback. Is it an ETX? It's not within 2 ticks of another OP level. It's within 3 points of another OP level. Might be an LRE. Have to go back and look at the simplicity chart for that. Okay, so it would have worked, but not a valid trade. Remember, like, many work, but many don't work that we don't take. And it's all about getting just 3 that work, that follow the rules. We got TX long here. Do we take it? Doesn't meet any rules. 2 to 3 bar chop. Going into settlement. No. It almost makes you just want to go reverse. Let's see here. Don't do that, by the way. And I say something like that and then somebody does it. All right, right here. Do we have a trade? Letting everybody get a chance to answer. Got about 15, 20, 30 answers, 40 answers. Somebody says no. I'm telling you to look at the chart again. We've crossed through settlement a bunch of times by now, and this isn't making a... Like, we have lower lows we can go to, so at this point I'd be okay with it. So, yes, I would say ODD divergence. All right, so that's our third trade because we didn't count that DTX. And that would be calling it a day. So did y'all get a few things out of today? Stuff on simplicity, stuff on sniper, stuff you can use tomorrow. Some jokes to help you be disciplined. Even if it was just to remind me that I'm the issue. The most recent toolkit has MCL added in, but I don't think Weeloo has added MCL yet. Does DR matter on HD? No, it does not. It only matters on FTXs. In a nutshell, what's needed is to trade simplicity? No, I mean, you're either way, you got your 30 ticks. Whether you traded sniper or simplicity. And some days simplicity is fantastic, and other days it's hard as crap. Where simplicity is your bread and butter. I mean, sorry, sniper is your bread and butter. It just takes more patience. See, David has a question. You live in Australia, and the DAX is so agreeable with my day to be able to trade. Then would you love to put the VIX on DAX to get simplicity, please? Yeah, you can put VIX on DAX. There is no DAX VIX that we have available to, but you could put the VIX on there. MCL is micro oil. And by the way, I love FDAX. David, it's, and even with simplicity even, it's one of my favorite things to trade. Unfortunately, Rhythmic stopped carrying it, so Weeloo doesn't have it. What extra is needed for simplicity? You need to be a gold member, and you need an IQ feed, data feed subscription with CBOE indices, or you need to follow it in the room. It's a lot harder to follow it in the room, but you can follow it in the room. Well, yeah, if you have access to the data, David, then you can put it in there. And if we don't have an instrument in our database that's giving you an error, then let us know. Okay? And we can always add an instrument. The DAX is like, I don't know if it's still 30 stocks. I want to say it's less stocks now, but it's almost like the NASDAQ of Europe. Yeah, tomorrow will probably be pretty crazy with the inflation data coming out. The cost of the data for simplicity is around like $100, so, you know, less than the one trade. Yeah, Jeff said, what's needed for simplicity? Follow it in the room on 1 to 3 micros to make sure you can do it, then buy the feed. Yeah. So I suggest you stick to micros on simplicity anyway, just because the stops can be really big. But Sniper's your bread and butter. Simplicity's your Thanksgiving dinner. That's true. All right. Well, y'all had a great night. Y'all have a great night, and I hope y'all really enjoyed the webinar, and I look forward to helping you out in the morning. And if there's anything I can ever do to help y'all, just let me know in the room, whatever. If you ever need me to review trades, anything, we're here. So don't be on an island. If you're having a hard time, ask for help, okay? We're here to help you. I want you to be successful. That's why I give you a whole month for free and the second month for $1. It's because I'm trying to give you time to get it down, so ideally you can pay out of your profit and not your pocket. But you got to take advantage of us. We're here. Ask questions. Don't be shy, okay? Y'all have a great night. Again, check us out at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. And if you can, please share us with your friends that are interested in trading and another source of income. All right, good night.